Good morning.
Good morning.
Today's topic is Ready, Set, Action. And I'm sure that everyone who read that first started thinking about the movies. And I'm also sure that most of us in this culture at one point thought about being a stage performer. Even if you haven't, we all perform in our lives. We've all pretended to be happy when we weren't. We've all pretended to be healthy when we didn't feel that way. We've all pretended in a lot of different ways. Now, there's really nothing wrong with pretending. When you think about it, when you say fake it till you make it, that's pretending. You know, sometimes when we're trying on a new way of being or a new culture, interacting with someone that is not someone we're familiar with, we act in a way to get used to these new ways. We dress in a way we're not used to dressing because we're trying to feel that. We speak a language that isn't our language because we're trying to get acclimated to that. We may be informal, like me, and so we act formal when we're supposed to. And when we're turning cartwheels out in the yard, then we're acting a different way. But we all have a range of actions. We're not limited to what we've already known. If you have never ridden a horse, that doesn't mean you can't ride a horse. It just means you've never ridden a horse. If you've never been on a four-wheeler, like I haven't, that doesn't mean I can't do it. It just means I haven't done it. So if I'm in a place where I need to do something I haven't done, I find out the information about doing that, and then I put that on. If you tell me that, okay, on a four-wheeler, you need to really hold on. I'm imagining here. You have to really hold on and press your feet real hard into the pedal. Now, you know I'm imagining, I have no idea.
That's wrong.
Okay. You can tell I'm really acting here. You find out the information, and you put that on and act as if that information is in your body and do that. And then you can do it better rather than making a mistake and not doing it the right way. So there's nothing wrong with acting. I know some people think of acting as being phony, but it's not. Anytime you learn something new, you've got to put it on and make it real for you. It's just trying on something because we are so unlimited. When you think of all the different things that human beings do in the world, anything anyone else has done, you can do too. Just because you haven't done it doesn't mean you can't do it. So you can speak Mandarin Chinese, and you can teach a PhD course, and you can make shoes. We can do all of these things. We just haven't done it yet. Fortunately, we live in the age of the internet where everything is written down. So if you really want to learn how to do something, you just have to look it up. And one of our friends, Joanne Reed, who used to come to this church, she lives in Nacogdoches, sent me a link today about a comparative religion course that's being given by Harvard that's available online. And that's just one of the many courses that we spoke about that are available online. I mean, the entire catalog of MIT and Harvard you can take in the comfort of your pajamas. Because we have this age of the internet. So if you can read, you can learn anything in this day and age. How do doctors learn? They read. Now they practice. We call a doctor's visit his practice, right? And yes, we are experimental subjects. Same thing for a lawyer. They have practices, right? But that's okay. We're all practicing being spiritual beings in this world. You're practicing being a better you. I'm practicing being a better me. That's what we're here for, to practice that which we know. That's why when we contact a spiritual counselor, we call it a practitioner, because they practice the presence of God. They practice these spiritual truths and help us to know them for ourselves. So we are all practicing, and we are all acting as if we are at that higher level. When we get into a situation where our human emotions are in the way, we don't like what someone did, or we don't like something we did, we take that off and put on the knowledge that we are simply living out of what we have known in the past, and that now that we know better, that's why we don't like that. If in the past I thought it was okay to blame someone when I got upset, it wouldn't bother me. I would just go blame them. But now that I know better, I don't do that. I know it's me who made me mad. Nobody else makes me mad. I'm the only one who can do that. Nobody else is in this head. So now that I know that, I can take that off and know that I was acting from the past. That's why we talk about the power is in now. Because the things that we see out here are all manifestations of the past. Even those things in our lives, like our paycheck, our relationships, our preferences, are all from the past. But you are new every moment, every day you can choose again. No matter what choice you've made, you can choose again. So there's no reason to be upset because my present situation appears to be a problem. That's the past. I am now, in this moment, able to choose a new future. So therefore, all of this is irrelevant. That's my past. How I choose to respond is what is sowing the seeds for my future. So when you're getting ready to do something new, let's say that you're changing a major habit, or moving to another place, changing your career, you first have to get ready, right? That may mean that you have to get all your information. You know, if you're trying to find out about a new place, you have to find out what that is. If you're choosing a career, you have to know what the parameters are and if that really is what you want. If you're moving, you have to decide what you're going to take with and what you're going to leave. If it's a habit, you have to think about what it takes to change that habit. You have to prepare yourself. So that means you not only look at where you are, but also where you've been and where you're wanting to go. Now, some of that stuff you can find out from other people, but let's face it, you're a unique original, so nothing out here, which is from the past, is going to be able to tell you what your new future is going to be. It can give you some indications, a brief sketch, some information, but it can't tell you what your real future is going to be. You know, like those ads at the bottom in the tiny print, it says, results not typical, your results may vary. Yeah, your results are going to vary. Take that as a given. And think of that as good, because you can do better than that. You can do different than that. And different is not bad. Different is good. You can do you. Nobody can do you like you can do you. So you want your results to vary. You know, if I take those, what do they call them? Lipozine. Those pills are supposed to make you lose weight. And then it says, unintended to diagnose or treat any illness, your results may vary. Results not typical. You know, if you get to read that fast, little print. Well, I'm not typical. So why do I want typical results? That person's physiology isn't my physiology, so why should I be upset? I'm doing whatever I'm doing for me in my way. And I will experience it in my way. And that's a good thing. So you get ready. You make up your mind that this is truly what is your decision to do. This is what you want to do. This is what you want to happen in your life. That means you have to let go of any judgments or feelings about your present or your past. We've always known that what they say, diets don't work, because diets generally are saying there's something wrong with me. And this is bad to eat. This thing I want is bad. You know? I smoke cigarettes, and that's bad to want a cigarette. It's not. It's just a thing. That cigarette has no power. It's a thing. It's not good or bad. It's a cigarette. That food is just food. It's not good or bad. When we put a judgment on something, we put our energy on it. And we are energetic beings. So it matters when you think of something as good, bad, or indifferent. You are putting an added dimension on that, and your body responds to that. We are energetic beings, and so our energy matters, not only just in terms of each other, but to ourselves and our lives. Just as we sang, we are sowing and we are reaping at the same time. So if I'm judging anything in my world bad, I'm binding it to me. Think about that. If I don't like people cutting in front of me or tailgating me, and I get upset, guess what I'm going to experience a lot of? If I don't like it, I just let it go. It sounds simplistic, but I invite you to try it. It really does work. When you put energy on something, you attract it to you. Good, bad, or indifferent. Because your energy matters. So the first thing in any kind of process that you're wanting to do is to get ready by releasing. Let all of that energy go. All the energy around it. It may be something that is looming large in your mind. And it's okay. It's good to anticipate. But the judgment that the opposite of what you're intending is bad binds that to you. So let's say I have poison ivy around my house. And I call that bad. And every time I see some, I get it, pluck it out. Well, y'all know about poison ivy. I'm just planting some more, right? I'm just letting that root grow some more. Every little piece is going to grow some more. It's the same kind of thing. So if I'm focused on this thing, I'm just making more of it. So by letting go and saying that's poison ivy, it is. And not having that negative attacking energy, then I can handle it a little more rationally. I'm not making more of it. So then I get set. Now, if you're doing something new, that's the fun part. Most of the times when we think about getting set, we're thinking of focusing on the things we need to make that happen. I propose that getting set is forgetting the situation and focusing on God. Because if you're focusing on the situation, you're still focusing on something that hasn't happened, something that isn't, something that you want. And the Lord is your shepherd, you shall not want. Don't want. The gift has been given. Just because we're here in this point in time and we can't see the future yet, or even our alternate nows, that doesn't mean it hasn't happened. That doesn't mean you don't have it. The very fact that you have made the decision that this is the direction that you're going to go, and that is the thing that you are striving for, you have already started on the journey. You've already set that in motion, so you don't have to want. It is. It's our job to open and accept. I would like to be an ordained minister. I don't want to be an ordained minister. I'm already working toward that. When I have decided that that is what I would like to do, information comes to me from all directions. Yesterday we were working on the church. Guy came by. Now you know if you come by this church on most Saturdays, nobody's here. But he works with the field licensing program. He's from my home state. We're talking about, how most churches are, blah, 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 and he's dropping names and all this kind of stuff. I hadn't called that man. I didn't know him. But my intention to look into that brought him into my life experience. And you all have experienced that. Where you think of somebody and boom, there they are. And the same thing with those things that you'd like to embody in your life. If you let them go and know that God is God's, you have no private thoughts. God has everything you've had in there. God, the universe is just listening to that, just soaking it up. And all things are happening. You don't see them happening, but that doesn't mean they're not happening. There are things that you may want that are around the world and they are manifesting. What we want to do is stop and focus on God. All that you know of God, all the love, the power, the wisdom, the intelligence. When you just look at all of the manifestations of God in your life, just hearing them I mean, you can just make it your body. You can see, you can walk, you can hear, you can taste, you can smell, you can think, you can feel. And then look around you and see all of the things that had to come around for those things to exist for you. If you focus on all that God is in your experience, that's getting set. That will prepare you for anything that comes. And when things come, even if they have what I call a grumpy face, it doesn't matter. God is all there is, guys. It may look like a stubbed toe and it might hurt like the dickens. But while you're stiffing there and saying, ow, you're not doing something else. You're delayed. You're going to meet somebody that you were supposed to meet. You're going to bless someone that needed your blessing. You don't know what that is in this wider frame of things, but it's like a network. Things are going on all the time that you can't see that affect you and your experience. So who am I to say that having to get caught by this red light is a bad thing? That might be the thing that kept me from getting T-boned. It might be the thing that got me to that light where I can see her and say, hey, I didn't know I was going to see you today. That if I had not gotten stopped by that light, I would have been gone. Who am I to say what is good and bad? Because if everything is all God, how can it be bad? Everything works to the good of those who love the law. And the Lord is the law. And the law is divine action. Divine action is the only action. That's what's happening in your life. That's why a lot of times things happen and we find out that at the time we didn't appreciate it. But later on we realize that was the best thing that could have happened. Now just because something happened and you didn't get that realization doesn't change anything. That doesn't mean that God was here and wasn't over there. It just means that you didn't get that realization. It hasn't changed the reality of that. God is still loving you constantly, completely, totally. Who made you? How'd you get to be here? The infinity of the universe arranged itself for your existence. The infinity of the universe keeps you going. Let your lungs work. Let your mind work. Let you want things. Let you desire things. Don't you think that the God of the universe could stop you from even noticing something that you weren't supposed to notice? So if you desire something, don't you think that the God of the universe has something to do with that? And just as if you had a child who desired something and you didn't want them to desire it, they would never see it. It wouldn't be in their world. She doesn't put heroin in front of her child, because he said, what is that? So the God of the universe doesn't put anything that's going to be harmful for you to want. You have a choice. You can ignore it, or you can choose that instead of that. But if you've gotten to the point where you see it and you call it good and you desire it, and you take that set step and focus on God and all you know of God, you will know if that is good for you. You will know if that is for your benefit, and you will know what to do to get that in as a manifest item in your world. So your getting set has nothing to do with your desire. It has to do with focusing on God and what that is for you in your life. Then we get to action. Now, action is one of those things that sometimes people don't want to deal with because, we got to do some work. It's not just Santa Claus is going to come while we sleep and just let it manifest. We got to do some work. We got to take some action. Now, your getting set was focusing on God. You got to stay there. Your action is to remember that God is God in your world and let that be your focus 24/7. We say we would like a nice place to worship. And we have. We've got a real nice place to worship. But it could be better. We had to take action to make it better. We had to decide that, yes, we are going to use our hands and improve our space. And then things flowed. The landlord did more that we weren't expecting. Things didn't cost as much as we thought. Everybody came out to help, and it wasn't really hard. It's not a hard thing. Everything flowed in to make that action happen. The same thing with the things that you want in your life. When you're focusing on the one, on your source, that energy is flowing through you, radiating from you, and drawing to you everything you need. So your action, by really getting set and staying set in God, brings to you what your action steps are, as well as what you need to do those action steps. It will even tell you when, no, not yet. It will tell you, I don't know, not now, maybe not, no, you don't want to do that. You know, a lot of times we think that it's just our little ego talking, but the more you listen to that inner voice, you can tell when it's you and when it's really the voice of God talking to you. You really can. And if you're not sure, ask again. Remember, it loves you. So it really wants you to have all good. So sometimes that little doubt, that little hesitation is trying to tell you something. When in doubt, look within. Unity is about prayer. This is a prayer ministry. And I think that we realize that prayer is your connection to God. And it doesn't matter if you do that on your knees, on one foot, standing on your head. You do it the best way for you to touch that inner self, that God within. And the more you listen to that voice, just like the more you listen to someone's voice, you know it more and more and more. You have it within you to be great. I think you're great already. Because I think we all are built for greatness. We are all built to do things every day in greatness. You can have and do what it is you desire if you are willing to take the steps, letting go of the past, focusing on God, and then following that guidance, doing the inner work of continually letting go of the past, letting go, getting set, staying focused on God, and then doing what is yours to do in the now. You can do it. Let's have fun. Namaste.